Question. Would you rather spend 6 months building the perfect agency structure and make $0 or get started with the minimal viable agency and be possibly up to 10 to 20,000 a month in 6 months? I mean, I know where I would personally prefer, but hey, maybe you got more money than time. So if you're like me and more on the side of fastest path to maximum revenue and serving maximum people, then stick around because I'm about to present the minimum viable agency. And the reason I'm doing this is because I see so many people that get stuck in their own heads and are planning the perfect lead generation, thing, or building the automations and this and that and that's and that. And then it's 6 months later in their same spot. And I don't want that to be you. If you implement what is in this video, you can absolutely change your agency, your trajectory, your momentum, your traction, your results way faster than you would ever think possible. It takes massive imperfect action. And guess what? Very imperfect, but capable of taking action, and so are you. So let's jump in and look at 3 assets that you can generate pretty easily that are going to generate revenue. And to do this, we're going to stop overbuilding, stop our perfectionistic tendencies that were hammered into us in our childhood out of fear of, underperforming and rejection. We're adults now. We can self-actualize. Stop adding complexity that delays your launch. That is a form of self-sabotage. Once you see that little truth of adding complexity as an excuse to put off achieving what you want, you're going to not ever want to do that again. Okay. So if you needed a cue, there's your cue. Stop that. Because here's the thing. The path to a profitable AI agency is not paved with anything elaborate, not elaborate lead gen systems, not elaborate build outs that are already in place, not eternally preparing. It's built on these 3 essential building assets that you can get started with immediately. So welcome to the Builder's Minimal Viable Path, a focused, actionable framework designed specifically for early stage agency founders and builders who want to generate repeatable revenue without the overwhelm. That's called living the dream. So asset 1 is the certified SOP. This is your repeatable revenue blueprint. Your standard operating procedure is a single conversational flow that's been proven, not a collection of random tactics or various side quests. It's a documented step-by-step system that you can execute consistently. It's not going to be like the first phone agent I built for a pest control company and had my husband test, and it broke when he told it that he had ants in his pants is his problem. And then my receptionist just went silent because she didn't know what to do with that. Frankly, I didn't really know what to do with that either, but I figured it out, never getting tripped up again. And that's the power of a certified SOP. It's going to eliminate the trial and error. This can become your operational foundation, the core process. You'll replicate, delegate, and eventually scale across multiple clients without reinventing the wheel. The wheel's already been invented, already a lot of times. So you don't need to redo it, okay? It's covered. Asset 2 is the friction killer kit. Say that 10 times fast. I'm not going to. But this is simple tech that actually works. Built for simplicity, not a complicated snapshot. I'm so sick of these snapshots. You don't need the snapshot, okay? Honestly, you would be better off building a snapshot yourself because you learn all the pieces. And so many of these are so complicated and there's no guidance to implementing. Frankly, they're just a shtick to get an affiliate commission. At some point, I'll probably offer a snapshot. But if and when I do, it's going to be the best snapshot with the best implementation so people can actually get results, not just get this snapshot. Can you tell I've been burned by some snapshots? I used to fall into the snapshot trap. Now I make it. But I had to go through that learning curve of being like, this sucks. How do I figure it out? Okay, there's a better way. Okay, that was a side quest. And I just was talking about side quests. No side quests. The second part of this, if we're back on track, is simple maintenance. This is not your uncle's 67 Camaro. We want something you can set up once and let it run reliably. I don't really have a car analogy that I could plug in here because every car I've ever had things that didn't go great. So I will not sit here and vouch for VW, Ford, Acura. I guess Volvo was pretty good. And actually, my Volvo even had a rubber bumper. You could hit a wall and no one would ever know. It was brilliant. We need to bring back a rubber bumper. My goodness. Okay, back on track. Scale ready. We want to build something with delegation in mind. When you are ready emotionally to handle fulfillment, bring on team members, the system can transfer seamlessly. The technical stack isn't about impressing you. No one's going to give you a gold star because you have, 80 automations in there. What you want is a reliable system that's going to allow you to scale fulfillment fast. When you remove technical bottlenecks, you can focus on revenue generation and client results. And asset 3, the client map. Your first case study changes everything because you cannot sell at scale without ROI proof. If you're selling to businesses, they're going to need to see ROI and you're going to want to provide it. It's going to make your life so much better and happier and easier. Nothing can replace tangible results from real client engagement. That's why your third non-negotiable asset is a dedicated, low-risk plan to acquire your first case study, one that demonstrates measurable return on investment or business impact, because it is proof that sells at scale. Once you have documented results that show how your AI generated revenue, or reduced costs, or improved efficiency, your sales confirmations completely transform. You're no longer selling a concept, you're selling a solution. You're presenting evidence of a tangible outcome. And if that outcome is more money back in that business's pocket, that's it. It's an easy decision. You don't want to sell. You want the business to decide. So looking at these three assets as a framework, first of all, we have the brain, which is your certified SOP, which in my world is a repeatable, proven conversation flow that eliminates guesswork. No problem if somebody's got ants in their pants. Then the tech with a friction killer kit, a simple, reliable technical stack built for low maintenance and fast scaling. And then, of course, the client magnet is your first case study proving a tangible ROI, some sort of benefit for that particular business type. One that makes that client think, wow, they got that outcome. I could have that same outcome. These three assets work together as a unified system. The SOP defines what you deliver. The tech allows you to deliver it efficiently. The proof allows you to sell it confidently. Together, they form your minimal viable agency. Everything you need to start generating revenue, nothing you don't. Do you see how there was no big snapshot in there? So let's lean a little more into my anti-grinder philosophy. Focus on assets, not services. Again, we're done with trading time for money. We're trading outcomes for money. And because it's a much higher level of value. So when you build first, you're just focusing on those three core assets until you know you can execute on them and they're reliable and bulletproof. Use them to acquire clients until you hit your fulfillment capacity. Only then do you decouple fulfillment. I'm going to stop using that word, which means introducing delegation, team members, or systematized delivery. You don't need to put the cart before the horse, right? Let the horse go first. Prove the concept, prove your delivery, prove it to your clients before you start worrying about big systems. Those aren't needed to get started. In fact, they'll get in the way. Amazon started off with just books, right? He didn't start by building a million warehouses staffed by AI. Started selling books. Okay, you're very likely in the book selling stage here. Okay, first things first, little baby steps here, but you're laying correct foundation to do this in a way that can create whatever scale it is that you have in mind. Anything the mind can dream or believe the mind can achieve, something like that. I'm going to look up that quote. I'll have it next time. I think, is it Napoleon Hill? And I'm sharing this because the traditional agency path leads to grinding. And if you're a young bro and that's your style, more power to you. But this video is not for you. This video is about not taking on too many services, not about customizing everything, not about drowning in fulfillment and then hitting revenue ceilings fast. The anti-grinder path is different and it's smarter. These are some hard-won lessons. And it just means staying laser focused on those three core assets. Don't expand your service menu. Don't chase shiny objects, although I know they are so shiny and pretty and tempting. You got to stay your path. Okay, you have chosen your path, put on your blinders, and stick to it. Sell books. Don't over-customize. Perfect your core system. Let it work repeatedly and only scale fulfillment capacity when client demand requires it. This approach builds a real business, not just a busy lifestyle. To recap that path to scale, what you're not building is a complex multi-service agency, custom solutions for every client, elaborate tech stacks with a million integrations, marketing funnels before you have proof, and team infrastructure before you have revenue. What you are building is, again, in this case, one proven conversational flow, one simple, reliable technical system, one compelling case study that makes people want what you've gotten for your clients before, repeatable revenue from those assets, and a foundation for systematic scaling. Scale comes from constraint, not expansion. You have limited focus. So you got to put it in the right spot, right? The magnifying glass focuses, right? If it's just spreading all over, nothing will ever catch fire. In this video, very likely you want your agency to catch fire, to grow, to fuel your dreams. That's kind of a fun little analogy. When you limit your focus to these three assets, you build faster, learn faster, and start generating revenue faster. You avoid the paralysis that comes from trying to build everything at once. And again, hard-won lesson here. Now, in January of 2026, I'm going to be launching my school community with all of these assets that we just listed that you can actually implement quickly in your own business. Again, there might be a snapshot. If there is, it's not going to be a crappy one. And the focus is going to be on simplicity and getting to revenue, getting to results, helping everyone get out of their own way to get where they want to go and utilizing AI for that leverage. If that interests you, I encourage you to get your spot on the wait list. There will be a link below this to the school group, and I hope to see you there. In the meantime, if you'd like to like and subscribe, that way you'll be sure to not miss the next one. I'll see you there.